Hey guys, it's Togui, and I'm going to be showing you how to farm Celebis and BP through Pokemon Bank. Now, you'll need two things for this, really. You'll need a 3DS that has, well, a 3DS and an SD card that has nothing on them, like basically a brand new 3DS or one, like an extra one if you got an XL and you originally had a regular 3DS, so you did a system transfer. Just basically a 3DS with nothing downloaded onto it. What I recommend doing is taking everything you do. No, I don't want this. Yes, delete that icon, I don't care. Yes, just go away. Thank you. I recommend, okay, I don't care. I recommend you move everything you don't need into a folder and move it away so that it's out of your way. Here, let me bring this a bit closer. And head all the way over here. Okay, so what you're going to need are your game card slot, an empty slot way up front, the eShop, and system settings. So the first step is, now, whether I wouldn't recommend putting in your game card. You may be able to and have nothing happen at this point, but I don't know, I haven't tested it. So just for safety measures, I wouldn't. You're going to go to System Settings, Nintendo Network ID Settings. Now, the crucial part of this is that you can delete your Nintendo Network ID and create a new one, which will allow you to basically re-download Bank as a new user and get another Celebi and another 10 BP. So, let's say you already had a Nintendo Network ID saved to this. Every time you delete your Nintendo Network ID, it's going to delete everything you have downloaded. So, the way you do this is when you go to Nintendo Network ID settings, go to page 3, delete Nintendo Network ID, next, and then you'll get this. So you need to scroll down, but you can't just skip to the bottom. There's going to be 4 questions in the middle. You're going to answer, each of them has 2 options. You're going to answer first option, second option, first option, second option. And these are basically just saying, like, I understand that all my stuff is going to be deleted, I have no way of recovering it. And then you click understood, and once you have all 5 selected that way, you can click next, delete, and then it will require you to enter your password. And because you're going to be creating and deleting so many accounts and you'll need to enter your password, I recommend doing something very easy that's easy to remember. I use 1Q because it has to be at least 6 characters, contain letters and numbers, and you can't have the same letter number 3 or more times in a row. So then you're going to click delete. So that's just something easy I can remember that I don't actually use for anything, so I don't mind sharing it. I've only ever used it for this, so that's how you're going to delete the account. Now the next step is going to be, you need to create an account, because how else are you going to download Bank? And you can go straight into the eShop and then create an account while you're going to download Bank, but it's actually more efficient to do it this way, where you just create one while you're already here in the settings. Yeah, okay, next. It'll connect to the internet, next. Obviously you need an internet connection after clicking next 3 times. Going to click on the bottom option and create a new ID. Now, here's how you get around, still loading. Here's how you get around not creating new IDs. You're going to click next, scroll all the way to the bottom, nothing here, understood. View network service agreement, blah 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 blah, accept. Okay, when you're making your account here, just set these to the defaults. January 1st, 1990, male or female, doesn't matter. Don't bother setting region, time zone, they don't have to match. For the Nintendo Network ID, it needs to be at least, I think it needs to be between, 6 to 16 characters. Just randomly tap a bunch of stuff. You can't use more than 4 numbers, I believe. So just randomly tap a bunch of stuff. The chances of that already being used very, very slim. For the password, just put in that 1Q. You can use whatever 6 things you want, doesn't really matter. Email address. It doesn't actually matter what you use, as long as it's a viable email address and you enter it twice. So the shortest one is aaa@live.com. I'm sure you could just do a@live.com, but I don't know if maybe Nintendo will recognize that, hey, you need to be at least a certain number of characters or whatever. I doubt it, but this works and it's pretty short. So just make sure those two match. It's a lot easier doing this than using, like, I doubt this is a real email address, although perhaps it is. Click no just in case, although it doesn't really matter because the only email they'll get will just be asking for an email confirmation, which you don't need to actually set up, is the trick. Huh, what did oh, I forgot to confirm password, oops. 1Q, 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 confirm, done. Okay, now scroll to the bottom, click link, click no. If you're using someone else's email, I'd recommend clicking no. I mean, it's not like it matters because you'll be deleting the ID, but just in case, for some reason, they're going to use it, whatever. Click OK, scroll to the bottom, click OK, click close. Now that that's done, you have your Nintendo Network ID set up, you're going to close System Settings, and then the next step is to go over to the eShop and actually download Pokemon Bank. Step is to, sorry, my camera died on me there. What I was just saying, the longest part of the process is waiting for Bank itself to download. So when you come to the eShop, you're going to get this talking about account security or whatever. Just click OK on the bottom. Now, if you just deleted in a Nintendo Network ID, there should be an error coming up. So you want to click Save Password. It'll just save you some time. 1Q, 1Q, 1Q. This way you won't have to enter it again when you're going into Bank, and every time you need to go to your Nintendo Network ID settings to delete your Nintendo Network ID. How many times can I say Nintendo Network ID? It'll say that you haven't confirmed your email address. That doesn't matter. Click OK, and I believe I should get an error code. Yep, you'll get an error code. It's totally okay. This is just what happens if you've already, like if you just deleted your Nintendo Network ID. Just click OK. It'll restart the eShop. You just need to scroll through this again, click OK, and then you gotta wait. It'll sign you in because it's remembering your password, so it already saves you a bit of time. And soon we should actually be in the eShop. Soon, hopefully. So just click OK there, click OK. Receive notifications or don't, doesn't matter. I think it takes a little bit longer to load if you say yes. Doesn't really matter. Here the default is to yes, so you might as well just click OK. Skip linking a Club Nintendo account because it's just a waste of time. It's not like you're downloading anything with points. Then you're in the eShop, so you need to scroll over to Pokemon Bank and click on it, obviously, because that's why we're here. So now we're going to download it. And you need to enter a zip code. Now, I'm not going to enter my real zip code. I'll just enter the most famous one, 90210. I don't actually live there in Beverly Hills, but it's one I know that works off the top of my head, and it doesn't matter for calculating sales tax because this is a free application. Otherwise, you'd have to be paying money to basically farm events. So, and then you want to click download now, and then now we have this process of waiting for the download, which I will, for your sake, cut out. And it looks like it's about done downloading. There we go. Wraps it up in a little ribbon. Now, here where it says, are you sure, do you want to continue shopping or go to the home menu? Make sure to go to the home menu, because I don't know if this is just me, but when once I accidentally clicked continue and then it wouldn't stop loading the eShop and I had to manually reset the 3DS, and it's just a hassle and a waste of time. So just make sure to leave. It'll say, you can kind of see it, new software has been added, just click OK, it'll scroll over, click A to unwrap, and this is why you want to have that open space so that it's over here conveniently close to where the game card will be. And then you're going to open Bank, it'll automatically close the eShop. Now, this is where you need your cartridge, which you can kind of see here if I get it off in the light, Pokemon Y I have with me. When you're on this screen, you can then put in the cartridge. You could probably put it in at an earlier stage, but I don't know if deleting your Nintendo Network ID while you have a cartridge in does anything. It'll say don't transfer Hackmons or whatever. Not Hackmons, but hacked Pokemon, even though if you do them right, you can. And if you don't do them right, it's not like it'll actually ban you. But don't hack. Come on, please, it just ruins the game. It's really not that hard to get good IV Pokemon. If you really want to use good IV Legends, even though they're already good enough, just go on like Pokemon Showdown or something. It's just ruining the metagame for everyone else if you hack, and then it's not fun. Usually this step doesn't take so long. I think where I'm recording right now, I have bad signal. But anyway, so once it's done preparing, it'll load up Bridget. Actually, no, it says you need to get a pass. Now, here you're just gonna spam A if it would load. Okay, there we go. So here you're just gonna click purchase, as if you would if you were loading up a bank for the first time on your own, as if you were actually going to use it. And this is why it's important to do this now, because while the Celebi event will be going on until I believe September, just click download. It's free. It doesn't take up any blocks. Doesn't matter. The free trial only lasts in North America, I believe, until March 14th is the last day you can activate it. Which means March 14th is the last day that you can, for free, keep re-downloading Bank. Otherwise, you're going to have to spend $5 every time you want to farm a Celebi, which, really, why do that when you could just get them for free right now? So you're going to click Use Pokemon Bank, use this game. Anyway. Oops. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. So I recommend you do not have BP or PokéMiles, I guess, but why would you ever want those transferred? Well, for PP upset. Anyway, that's besides the point. Don't have stuff transferred from your main 3DS that you haven't picked up from Pokemon Link and then saved into your game when you're farming this, because otherwise it's not going to give you the gift. So she'll say 100 PokéMiles, the more Pokemon you store, the more PokéMiles you get. Would you rather have 100 PokéMiles or 10 BP? Select do not take any BP or PokéMiles. She'll say we'll just let them rack up. And the reason why is because, as you saw there, since I already had some, I couldn't receive the next gift. So you're just going to click XA to save and quit, and that'll take you back to the main menu. Now the trick is, because your Pokemon Link isn't full, the requirement to get the Celebi is just to go into Bank twice. You don't have to actually really use it or anything. So you can see there the ridiculous ID I set up just by typing randomly. So now when we come in the second time, because we didn't take a gift the first time, our Pokemon Link will still be free, and this way we can just take the Celebi without having to waste any time of loading up the game, even though I already did because I was stupid, but I cut that out. So there's the Celebi, and then she'll still give you the 100 Pokémiles because that's the way Bank works. So then you can take your 10 BP here, and you're also farming BP. As you can see there, I have a box almost full of Celebis, and the way this works, usually it goes a bit faster than this. I must have a bad connection from where I am. So what you're going to do is click Home, and then you're gonna go over to your game. If it asks if it needs to update, just click Launch Software anyway. Don't bother with the update, especially if you've already updated it on your main 3DS, because I have, and it still wants to update, and I don't know why it's asking that, and I don't want to ruin anything. So you're just going to go down to Pokemon Link, say yes, you will receive the Celebi and 10 BP. Then you're going to load up your file. Now what I recommend you do is save in Keylud. I would recommend saving on the Super Trending or Pokemon Me screen, as opposed to the oh god, what's it called? How did I forget the name of it? The thingy, the other one that lets you trade with people and whatever, that thing. Yeah. Just because it'll say 3DS has been changed, updating friends list, and it's just a waste of time. So you see up here, on a regular 3DS it's kind of hard to tell, but I have a plus special attack, minus defense nature, that is mild. So that's not actually too bad. Now you can see the stats. I've got 42, 28, 23, 29, 28, 28. Away, you don't even have to go to the IV checker. If you've used the time machine method, the exploit, you know that if the two parents have the same nature, have no EVs, and the only difference is their IVs, when they're trained up to level 50, the only difference in their stats will be because of the IVs. Since this is level 10, you can see the difference. So for a stat with a neutral nature, 28 is a 31 IV. For a stat with a minus for its nature, I believe it is 25 is perfect. And then for a stat with boosting nature, it's 30 is perfect. And then for HP, I believe it is 43. If I check one of my perfect HP ones, yes, that is correct. So I can already tell you, just by looking at this, it's going to have perfect in attack, special defense, and speed, which is really not that great for a mild Celebi. But just to prove it, I will come over here to the judge, which is why I'm in Keylud, and I will check. It may be hard to read this, but it says attack, special defense, and speed, which are what I said it would be. So you don't even need to check with the judge because they're all untrained, and as long as you know, as long as you know it is 25 for a negative nature, 28 for neutral, 30 for beneficial, and then 43 for HP, you can mark all of your Celebi without actually going to the judge. So I'll just drop this off right here, and then you just save, and then you're going to exit out of the game. And now here's the thing, you want to I personally ejected the cartridge because, as I said, I don't know what happens if you erase your Nintendo Network ID while a cartridge is in. So the next step, obviously, because we're farming, is going to be deleting this Nintendo Network ID. So we'll go back to Nintendo Network ID settings, and then I will go through the process of deleting again, which I will cut out for you because I already showed it the first time. You just go to page 3, delete, scrolling through everything, clicking options 1212, understood, next. Just enter your password and click delete. So I will skip ahead until I've gotten that done. Now that I have the Nintendo Network ID deleted, I'm going to go in and create a new one, which is again the same process. If you tap randomly, you're almost guaranteed to pick, well, not almost guaranteed, you're guaranteed to pick a different username than the one used before. And you can use the same email address. There's no limit on how many accounts can be linked to the same email address, and you don't even need to register the email. You don't need to verify it, and Nintendo doesn't even care. You can still, I don't think you'll be able to buy anything, but you can still download free stuff. So that's all you need to do for this. So I'm going to go through and set up the next account, and then I will see you guys when that's done. Okay, so now I've set up the next Nintendo Network ID, and when I close out of settings, you'll notice there's something strange. First, the menu looks normal, but then you'll see Pokemon Bank is still here. Even though we deleted the Nintendo Network ID, it still remained downloaded. So you don't have to download it again, and the reason for this, why I'm still showing getting this, is because it works in sets of 2. And so again, I am now putting in my Y. Alrighty. And now this time you'll get an error message when it tries to well, actually not yet. First you have to enter the password. And there should be an error message coming up around here. 2 in fact. See, this is like the first time we logged in, just like when we were on the eShop before downloading Bank for the first time. It was giving us like credit card information management, blah 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 blah. This is all the same stuff, that doesn't really matter. And I believe at this point, yes, an error has occurred, and you'll get an error code like you did before, except it's not the same one. Then you'll get just generic error with no error code, and it'll disconnect. Now, it's very important you don't accidentally click out of the home menu at this point, because if you do, you'll waste a lot of time. And the reason for that will be clear in a minute. So I'm going to go through this, denying the downloading my free pass, denying the BP or PokéMiles, and then going back in, taking the Celebi, and then taking the 10 BP, and I will see you then. So now once you've sent the second Celebi, make sure to click the power button and not the home button. Just click it in once, and then click the home button. And if you notice, this is after we deleted the Nintendo Network ID while Bang was still downloaded. You'll see it's gone now, and it says create folder in its place. That's because those error codes that you get are basically saying, hey, you never downloaded this, yet you still have the program. So it lets you run it, but once you get those error codes, if you click the home button, it will not freeze your DS, but it'll make you hard reset it by holding down the power button. So it's just the easiest way around that is just pressing the power button once you've transferred the second Celebi, which you see I have there, which is why this works in sets of 2s, and why you will most likely have an even number of Celebis. And as you can see there, yes, I do have a complete national dex. It's a living dex, but most of the Pokemon are stored in Bank on my main 3DS, and it is completely legit. So now if we come over here and we check this, this is a naughty Celebi. That is plus attack minus special defense, and this is, this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is a 5 IV Celebi missing defense. It's too bad it doesn't, I mean, that's not like an awful, it's not the best nature, but it's not a terrible nature. And a 5 IV Celebi, regardless of what it's missing, is still pretty awesome. The reason I say that is because I see 43 HP, it had 25 in its negative stat, 30 in its main stat, and then 28 in 2 others, defense being the odd one out. So let's see if I was correct. HP, attack, special defense, and speed, yeah. So there you go, a 5 IV Celebi. If that's not worth, and this was within the first box of Celebis, if that's not pretty awesome, like if you have a lot of free time, you can speed through these while doing something else. So, and I'm pretty slow at it because I don't really have the best internet connection, especially where I am right now. I've done this on a faster connection and it goes pretty fast, so that's awesome. 5 IV Celebi, you can see I have a whole box of these, and because they're on your own OT, you can trade them on the GTS. They're all guaranteed at least 3 IVs because it's a non-breedable, and the most you can get in one day is 25 because you can't link more than 25 Nintendo Network IDs to one 3DS in the same day. But anyway, so yeah, pretty awesome to get that 5 IV Celebi on camera, and doesn't have the best IVs to match it, but it's still a 5 IV. So anyway, that's really it for how you farm Celebis. And then when you exit out of the game now, it's just like at the start of this video. I'm just gonna close this, pop it out, delete your Nintendo Network ID, create a new one, and then it's off to download Bank again, and then you just keep farming like that. So it's all really simple. It's just a matter of time because there's only until March 14th if you're in North America to get it done. So you saw the results of what you can get. That was completely legit, so you should definitely do this if you have an extra 3DS lying around. Just make sure that you do know if you do it on a 3DS that has stuff downloaded, everything will be erased from it. So just be careful, and don't blame me because I'm warning you. Don't screw it up, just be careful. Then you can get a 5 IV Celebi with enough time. So, good luck, and I'll see you guys in the next one.